Definitely would expect a Zillion to follow that ban as well, based off just how overpowering Syros can feel and how long he can prolong a game on all of these champions that actually have circle-based skill shots. He tried yesterday to change his champion pool to add another dimension with the Rise and throw out spheres instead of circles, and that's the game that they actually lost in. So going back to the circles, we'll probably see from this mid laner.
And of course, with Malphite banned out, maybe that sets us up for a Rageblade using top lane. Malphite's been picked into it. And when Latam lost to Turkey yesterday, it was because of a Malphite engage that really punished them. So one ban left for LJL. What will it be?
You're looking at an Aurelio if you had to make a guess, but Kindred, of course, very strong in that jungle. It does leave open the Aurelia that we were mentioning, though, and if you're getting rid of the Malphite, which is what this Latin American side did, they can afford to go a Rageblade user and just destroy lane.
So let's see if they feel the same way. Misfortune's still available. As far as the priority picks, Rek'Sai in the jungle with Elise gone. Gragas has been used by Rainbrain, and you know, Rainbrain's a jungler that stepped up, and of course, completely forgot about Mundo. Rainbrain also used that champion in game 2, day 1.
Yes, and they had a very good game with that one. So Mundo smartly taken off the board. We didn't see success with it last game, actually ruining the win-loss ratio of that Mundo. Soraka's another champion that I honestly think needs to be picked with the Mundo, but nobody has really gone for that yet. In fact, the only team to address it is Brazil with bans.
How do you plan on winning with a Mundo Soraka?
By not dying.
Yeah, but you're going to be playing for 12 years.
But it's genius. Like, they'll concede one way or another, right?
Out-sustained. Stress, I think, is going to get on a little bit of a high horse today when it comes to Soraka.
Stressy Poo will be fine.
Stressy Poo did say that Soraka was somewhat overrated coming into this tournament, and we've not seen her show through yet. But with the Mundo locked in, Aurelia is going to look likely a lock-in for Evie. He's played the carries in the top lane, and the Alistar for Dara.
Yeah, primarily playing that Aurelia and Jax Evie. We did even see that in the show matches before they left. Very strong on this champion. It couples quite well with Mueki when he plays the aggressive hyper carry type of AD carries. And if they put Dara on a champion like the Thresh or something that can be super tanky, even like a Braum or Alistar, it's very easy for these guys such as Evie, Syros to sit in the backline and wave clear, and then have Mueki just go ham.
Go ham. That would be the option. White Lotus will also have to decide what he wants to play. Lucian is up. Let's run that as well. Has run the Vayne a number of times, but there's the answer, isn't it? Saya just kind of flaunting.
He knows.
Champion they use for success. So will it be the Braum in that support role? Not reveal your solo lanes?
Smart. It would be very smart to go for a support here. If you're going for a mid, you'd be revealing way too much. And of course, the LJL do have that last pick, and they've already gone for their top laner.
Now, Syros, we know Rise is up and available. He's tried that before. Tried the Cassiopeia, along with the GP and the Zillion bans. Which direction does he go?
He may even go for the Varus path again. He did only play it in the 1v1, to be fair. But he mentioned afterwards in the interview that he likes the line skill shots, as well as the circle-based ones, which we have seen that he is very good at. So it wouldn't be a surprise if he goes for a poke-based champion or primarily a zone control-based champion, because that is what he genuinely excels at. And Varus, if you pop down the ultimate, does actually control zones.
The thing I don't like about the poke-based champions is Mundo's just going to be able to regen through it. So there is an inherent risk if you go that rate. Rainbrain and Mueki looking to lock their champions and leave the counter pick for Syros in the mid lane, and we are going to see Rek'Sai over Gragas. So another safe, secure, vision-based champion, and the Japanese squad's got a lot of skirmish, fair bit of engage, but they just want to go forward.
They do. They definitely want to go forward, and it's interesting that the Latin American side also picked Thresh into the Alistar, which Yamato Cannon has openly professed the Alistar does very well in that matchup. So actually a very good bot lane from this LJL side in terms of the 2v2, on the assumption that White Lotus doesn't just destroy everything in his path with Lucian and connect all of the Qs.
So many assumptions.
There's a lot, yeah.
Well, it is the truth. We have to figure out how this works out. Saya's going to get his hands on the Icebird. Going to run that in the mid lane, and Helior will run a carry top lane, a Fiora into Irelia. What do you make of that?
Fiora into Aurelia is skill, 100% skill matchup. It's all about if you can actually hit the stun on Aurelia or if Fiora can riposte it. It's not as mechanically intensive as that of maybe the Riven and Fiora that we saw a whole lot of at Worlds. but it is still very, very important on timing of stuns and when you pick your aggressive fights.
I certainly hope we keep an eye on that matchup. It has the potential to become volatile, but if Rainbrain goes top with Rek'Sai, I think Helior's going to be in a little bit of trouble. It's going to take a long time for Thiak on that Mundo to become a monster and a threat on that front line.
Yeah, and that's another big concern from this Latin American lineup as a team comp, is their engage is a little bit reliant on an Anivia a stun or a Thresh hook. Otherwise, it's just going to be cleavers being thrown at your face until someone falls over.
And that's so difficult. Kalista can hop, Rek'Sai can burrow, Alistair's got his ulti, Aurelia's got built-in tenacity. Like, everybody that's going to be on the front line has some way to deal with a little bit of those skill shots. And the circles reign true for Seros, Gravity Field, as well as that Storm, and it's going to be Victor. So Control Mage v Control Mage, farm fests for a while, I think.
A little bit better than the last draft as well here, not being a gangplank mid lane into the Anivia, but a different change here by having Ignite on Seiya in this middle lane. True to his form, of course. Hyper-aggression, engaging, trying to make things work. Difficult to execute as a Anivia, though, to engage and just outright control the map and start fights. He's not a Lissandra, like he very much does love playing. But we'll see if he can actually make that connect, because no cleanse in response on the other side.
Yeah, double teleports, though, so map play somewhat in favor of the Japanese squad. Also, kind of favors those skirmishes that I think they'll have a very big upper hand in the early stages of the game. Rek'Sai's mobility with that ultimate, 2 teleports, and like every lane bringing CC. There are so many options for the LJL.
Yeah, there definitely is. My only concern then comes back to the wave clear, and with Victor going teleport, he still has to be with the team if he wants to be a part of wave clearing and stopping them from sieging. The other AD carry being the Kalista on their team isn't going to be very adept at doing so. They're more looking to fight and go in, so by having that teleport, it says to me he's looking to just get through laning phase ahead and time his fights better.
Well, let's find out if they can make a more dramatic game than none of the first of the day. Guys, jump on Twitter, hashtag LAWin if you think Latam will be victorious, or hashtag LJLWin if you think the Japanese squad will pick up their 3rd victory here at IWCA and tie themselves up with SEA, if memory serves. We'll find out shortly as we load up onto the Rift. Dara on that Alistair, and Seros, the most instrumental player I feel on the LJL squad.
Certainly is. Win or lose, he has the biggest impact on the map 100%. Moeki, very good at carrying. Evie also very good at playing his part, but it's usually only on the back of Seros making these big plays. So the Victor is your man to look out for in this game.
Number of pings. Ignite this time in Dara's hands. No exhaust. And that is scary if Helior gets a hit. So this time around there's a small answer to Thiak's regen. But no real...
Or else he forget.
Or no damage reduction.
Damn it, Mundo.
For Helior.
I love how the point just instantly stopped the second Mundo started, yeah.
There's so few times that you get those clips out, so.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, gotta let it happen, man. Live in the moment, Rusty.
That is right. And speaking of living in the moment, Moeki and Dara are going to help Rainbrain with this Gromp, but I would almost say that he's going to smite it and go to the blue buff, give that experience to the bottom lane of the Kalista, and try and win the lane with that level 2 push.
So we'll find out if that is the case. Moeki and Dara are going to start clearing out. It does seem to be the scenario as the Gromp has been picked up. Moeki's CS just blipped over by 1. A difference in approach when it comes to the junglers, because Evie is working out there. Did he actually get the blue buff? No, that was Rainbow that actually picked it up.
Yeah, so this is something we saw from the Japanese side. In that show match we mentioned earlier, they started the double jungle, but they don't lane swap. They just teleport to lane, and bot lane's actually going.
Wow, White Lotus is in trouble. That level 2 power spike. Moeki runs too early. The Ignite is ticking through, and White Lotus stays alive. Dara and Moeki invest everything in that, and they come up wanting.
They definitely got a winning trade, but they didn't find the kill. In saying that, the pressure they now have in the lane, the control in terms of levels is 100% in their favor. And not only that, they got rid of Lucian summoner spells, and they have the heal left.
So, small advantage. There is an Ignite past his Thresh. Dara has already left lane, roaming middle. Sentence, that was very close. Very, very close. It does not find a target. Seiya may get caught up. Flash, Pulve connects, laser beam as well as the empowered auto. Seiya didn't even flash that one, and also it's just some lane control. So LJL out the gates, there comes swinging.
He did well to not flash it, but that was a lot of damage from Syros just there. I would have almost instinctively flashed it the second the headbutt pulverize came out. So a nice little rotation there from Dara. And this lane is something that I definitely want to touch on, and how risky it is to do what they did and double jungle, come back to a standard lane opposed to a lane swap, because you're by default behind in experience and in a way farm, and you lose your teleport. But this is why.
Luckily, Rainbrain was aware of this situation, and his jungle path led him to high five Evie, throw it a love tap, and just send a signal saying,
Yes.
I'm here. I'm not really going to kill you. I just want you to leave my top laner alone.
Or is he? I think he's drawing pressure by showing his attendance in that top lane. He might be burrowing over.
Well, this is very obvious from Evie. The stun comes out, only applies a slow. Helios holding on to the riposte. He parries a few spells and isn't even going to use the flash.
Yeah.
Great heads-up play from Helio.
So it was a very proactive move from Evie and Rainbrain, but to not die or use a summoner spell in that engage, having the teleport available again, actually nullifies that even being a thing that happened. He's going to go back, he's going to be perfectly fine, and Mundo is just farming in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Mundo is doing well. Picked up the Tracker's Knife, so now we've seen all really of the jungle items, or jungle smites, picked up from Mundo jungles as we seeing him a little bit more.
Definitely seen all three. The Tracker's Knife is a different approach. It just says to me he's not going to go for a Sightstone. And Thiak's the kind of guy that loves the vision control around the map.
Quite like that if you think about it. The LJL strength with the double teleports, with the Rek'Sai, and the fact they're very skirmish-based, maybe some additional vision will keep their lanes alive. Evie's doing a great job. Got a 2-level advantage thanks to Rainbrain coming in there, but that is a very big minion wave. So yeah, he's going to find a connection onto Syros and trade back after he was forced away from the lane earlier.
Yeah, 35 to 20 CS, even with the minions going there. Evie doesn't have the teleport as well, so this will even out a little bit more. In saying that, we do know what he's going to go for as a first item, and is now so far ahead in lane that he is well and truly on the way to that, and it shouldn't be an issue to go straight from the blasting one to the item. Guinzoo's Rageblade.
That is for Evie, of course. Quite like the Rageblade build. And we'll see how Helio handles himself. I mean, it's, as you mentioned, a skill matchup. Rainbrain tilted that somewhat in Evie's favor, thanks to an early gank. But this is the problem when you run a Mundo jungle. You have to get him to 6, and then you got to look for some team fights. He's currently at least a level up, nearly 10 CS. So Thiak's doing a decent job trying to get there.
I mean, looking for team fights as Mundo is great if you have the team comp to work around it. He should be doing this.
Wow, Thiak, 2-level advantage. Chilling Smite comes out from Rainbrain to escape, and that he does. But with the exception of the jungle, LJL's lanes are all in their favor.
Yeah. They're doing quite well, and it's basically laning with a small amount of pressure put in place from Rainbrain. The difference now is that Mundo, as we just saw, trading with Rainbrain based off a level advantage, should spend the rest of his time in Rek'Sai's jungle. The problem there is that the lanes from Japan are still winning, and they can rotate first.
Makes it so much riskier for Thiak. He's got himself another Ruby Crystal. BF Sword on the first back for White Lotus, but Evie, he's jumping in. The Transcendent Blazer going up. The Grand Challenge is on, and Helio gets the heal, but it will not be enough. Rainbrain flashes forward for the knockup. A defensive flash from Evie to stay alive. Rainbrain is in trouble. Thiak's trying to run him down. If he finds the cleavers, it might be enough. A knockup from Rainbrain. The cleaver doesn't find its target, and Evie gets the stun. LJL get out alive.
Fantastic play from this LJL side, working around the minion wave as well. Thiak had nothing he could do there besides that last cleaver, which was juked by Rainbrain. Very well done from this LJL side. Mundo is going to be monstrous, but he's the only one.
This is going to be a scary situation for Helio. Evie not only got the assist and the CS lead, he's even going to TP back to pick up all the CS. Now this is a window for Latam, because Helio does have his TP, and Evie does not. So it could start a party that only Seros could join.
Exactly, depends on where they fight, because if they do go towards that bottom lane, Seros being able to join Elliot would be a 4-on-4 or a 3-on-3 regardless. So having that double teleport does kind of negate that strength. Evie evidently looking towards top lane as his focus, get his Guinzoos before team fighting, and maybe even the Sheen before it.
Still so weird to see a blasting ward with Aurelia.
All that AP scaling.
Exactly. Well, doing very well. There is some support from Theak. Now Helio's jumping forward, no grand challenge. Evie's going to look to sustain with that ultimate, but that is such a big chunk. Teleport comes down from Seros. Evie's going to get dropped. Seros flashes forward. Chaos Storm and the auto attack. Means they trade 1-for-1. They get the TP as well.
And that's the teleport from Seros. Helior does still have his, so another window presents itself, as that's a lot of damage onto Mueki.
Death Sentence finds Dara, and I like the fact that Sia was pushing hard, trying to get damage down onto the tower. White Lotus and Arcee doing the same thing, pushing Mueki and Dara down. So Latam, they trade, but they're keeping the pressure on LJL, knowing there's no support or TP.
Yeah, this bottom lane, White Lotus and Arcee are definitely putting in work, trying to close the gap that has already been put in place. Lucian starts to get very strong around that 1 item spike, whereas Mueki on this Kalista looks for the 1 or 2 item spikes and has opted towards a BF sword first.
And we've seen a couple of different builds on Kalistas as well. We've seen your traditional Blade and Hurricane, and we've seen some crit-based builds. Is Sia going to get this tower? I think next minion wave. But a wave clear from Seros is here, so not going to happen. And also, look at the indication that Rainbrain wants to play around. Oh, that was good.
That was amazing.
That was really good.
White Lotus.
He's a Vayne player. He's got mechanics for days.
That was his pseudo-tumble.
Pseudo-tumble. I hate that term.
I know you do.
Anyways, Helior's in trouble. He's going to back away. Let's see if Rainbrain wants to find the kill. Lands the Prey Seeker, pops up, doesn't find the knockup as Helior is going to riposte it, dashes away, gets a small heal, the stun connects, and Saya's here to save the day. Helior gets a kill credit and the buff.
The Anivia without teleport comes in, uses the flash and ignite to save his top laner. Of course, Evie's still putting in work, but the Fiora lives and gets a kill for it. Very good job from Saya to have the awareness to be there in a situation where his team did require him.
And despite the CS discrepancy in that top lane, Helior is only 200 gold down from Evie. So that is very important to note, that it looks like the gap should be bigger. And I was mentioning the tunnel placements from Rainbrain, really signaling an intent and a focus. As you can see, Rainbrain hovering around this mid lane.
Yeah.
Thiac is going to land a couple of those cleavers.
The Rainbrain focus really just says to me, farm. But he's against the Mundo that has been out farming him and is starting to get a little bit carried away in strength. Of course, only 8 to 7 in levels, but 52 to 33 in farm.
Big advantage for Thiac. He's got that Cinder Hulk already. He'll start getting beefier and beefier as we see him roaming around the top. Now, there is a potential for a dive here. Mundo could tank a long time. They know that the teleport from Seros will be down for a few minutes longer.
They know that Rainbrain is where he is right now. They're moving towards him. They've pinged 3 times already.
Rainbrain's going to tunnel away. Even smites the Raptor. He's in range. This is a 3v2, so if Seros or Rainbrain misstep, there's going to be opportunity for Arcee to land a death sentence. Evie's now being jumped on. Helior is 1 vital away from winning that challenge. And that's a good sign again that the Fiora is trading with Aurelia, but I believe the Rage Blade is about to get picked up, and this swings the power balance, I feel, back in Evie's favor.
If a trade is prolonged and the Aurelia is allowed, even through a minion wave, to get to the 10 stacks on that Guinzoo's Rage Blade, that will be a very overpowering Aurelia in Evie's hands. Helior has been picking his fights, and that's a nice hook.
Death Sentence connects, and Mueki is down. White Lotus gets caught up by Dara, and Dara's looking for the kill. Rainbrain should be able to finish this one off. Chilling Smite comes up. Rainbrain's chasing.
He's got the dash.
There is a flash available. Decides not to use it. White Lotus is in full retreat. Prey Seeker does not connect. Dara sets it up, and Evie will be donated the kill.
Dara actually getting pulled in by the Kalista as his dying wish. hits the knockup from the Kalista ultimate, then pulverizes and puts this Lucian into the worst position. And us, he's caught.
Oh, double knockup. Rainbrain and Dara, they hold him in place. They don't have the greatest amount of damage, and here comes
They're not killing him.
Thayak. He's going to throw the cleavers up. Dara does still have access to Unbreakable Will, and he will use that ability to escape safely. Evie invested the TP, got the kill. First of the game for him.
Between an Alistar and a Rek'Sai, their chances of getting a kill by themselves is slim to none. Very good pressure that they're now placing down on the map. They push the threat out and has to make him recall. It does give them some respite to work around that Dragon Vision, put some control there, and let Evie go back towards that top lane.
So let's see how Evie does now. Phage and 2 longswords picked up for Helior. Versus, of course, that Rage Blade. I want to see how Evie stacks up that AoE on the auto. And Saya with relatively early, call it, well, standard Rod of Ages. Picked it up about a minute ago. Going to keep stacking, and as we expected, Saya and Ceros, we've actually not seen them unless they've roamed to other lanes for ganks.
And it's also good to see the proactive roaming and getting those ganks off, particularly from Saya, not having that teleport that Syros did have to use to pick up his 1 rotation and big kill.
So we did catch a glimpse of Rainbrain moving towards this bottom lane. He's stepped up his game over the course of the last few matches, being out CS quite heavily, but he's had a very positive impact. Multiple ganks, multiple summoner spells, kill and assist under his name as well. I just don't know if it's enough against this Mundo.
So 30 CS behind is very bad for him. He's only about 700 gold behind, but if you look at the difference in items at this stage in the game, 700 is a sizable amount because he hasn't finished upgrading his items yet to the Cinderhulk Chilling Smite at all.
Difficult situation for Rainbrain. We'll see if LJL can get themselves into a sort of split push scenario. Evie, there you go, already shoving Helior away. Does have full stacks on that Rage Blade. Extended the CS advantage and is going to put so much pressure on this tower. Actually opting to deny CS as opposed to try kill the tower. Here comes Saya as well.
Yeah, the fact that the Anivia has to rotate up really indicates how Helior is feeling in this lane. He's calling for assistance 100%. It's such a very difficult thing to play against. Helior's item spikes cost a lot more than that of a Guinzoos.
And we saw a bunch of pings on the Rift Herald from the LJL team. Tara's going to find the Pulverize. Not going to get the hit, but the box comes down. There is the threat to be engaged. Seros has been able to come in from behind. Arcee's in trouble. He will be taken out. Just a matter of time, and it's Seros that gets the kill. TPing in behind the aggressive Latam duo.
And once again, using that teleport in an aggressive manner, just because the Latin American side, as expected, are being overly aggressive. The Alistar, even with no combo available, is what warrants the ultimate to be placed down from Arcee. And I honestly thought they were going to get out with that, except the Thresh didn't have flash.
Well, Seros most likely ate a stun there. Gets chunked out by Saya.
Rainbrain's style of jungling is just Prey Seekers and then farm. It's great.
Maybe you should build AP.
He might want to,
Spam
yeah.
out those Qs.
Yeah, Guinzoos, honestly, it scales with AP.
Oh, there you go. Figured it out. Next level OP. We'll speak to Pulse. I'm sure he will have some thoughts. Maybe he's even tested it.
No doubt.
One of those hype train players.
As in Guinzoos only.
Yes, pretty much. Like, he builds it on everything.
Well, to be fair, you can buy a Guinzoos and then not buy anything else from there and still be strong.
Drives me up the wall playing with him because he only wants to build Guinzoos. So, doesn't matter the champion. All right, Arcee's moved his way up top. He's roamed his left White Lotus alone down bottom, but both teams anticipating the play. You can see how many members are moving up top. Seros has now decided to peel away as Latam have got some support. Evie in a 2v3. Saya's making his way up as well. There's a lot of minions to clear. So there is a very real dive threat, especially with Thayak and that ultimate. They're going to look for some pressure. Dara with a very good headbutt.
Syros could not make his mind up. He went towards top lane, went back to mid because Saya was controlling the minion wave and pushing him in. But then Saya was already top lane threatening the dive, and it forces them away from that turret almost needlessly because if the Victor was there was no minion wave.
Latam use their grouping to go for the Rift Herald.
That hurts.
Milwaukee summon a heal. to deal with the culling, and we'll have to see who got the Rift Herald buff. Can't see for the time being. I assume, there we go, Helior. Helior, Rift Herald plus Cleaver versus Rage Blade. Predict a winner. Do it now. Go.
Fiora.
Okay.
That was easy.
That was way easier than I thought. I was expecting like trepidation, fear.
So the minions actually do a lot more damage now with Helior having that, and there's not really a... Okay, actually, you know what? There's a Sheen on Aurelia. And armor boots completed. I take it back.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was a new purchase, so
Yeah.
you're allowed to change your vote. You're allowed to change your vote.
I think Aurelia would still win this 100%. Unless the Fiora can instantly hit all 4 of the ultimates.
Now there's clauses.
Yeah.
We'll win 100%.
Well, it's a duel. There's always
if
clauses.
Maybe... Man up, man. Make a prediction. It's fine. You said Aurelia. That's what I'm going to hold.
Aurelia. We'll go, yeah, fine.
I'm hoping we see the fight. Now, Dara's going to get lobbed towards Lotus, but the Lantern saves the day. Honestly, predicting that one actually lands the death sentence. Seiya is starting to roam. The rest of Latam have the ability to pinch Japanese, but not going to happen this time.
Fiora's still sitting in that top lane also. Evie walked down to try and catch them out, so he has to take a very long transit back towards that top lane, which gives the Latin American side enough time to not only utilize the Rift Herald, but to push the bottom lane turret. Here they go.
Well, here's the duel. Evie is going to be challenged. Helios looking to pop it. He just gets...
I'll claim that I was right there with the prediction.
You know what? You've earned it fair and square. I'm just so thankful the players actually gave us the straight up 1v1. Helios just hit tab and gone, oh, bugger, we had to choose. And this is going to allow Latam to get their Dragon. So, a kill for Dragon, probably worth it as we're 20 minutes in. It'll give a lot of stats that will continue to scale as the game plays out.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Of course, a lot of damage was still placed on that top lane turret, so they've got a lot of pressure from that, this Latin American side. In saying that, the Aurelia getting that kill will be a bit of extra money in the pocket for him, and he will start to do a lot more work in this 1v1 as if it wasn't enough already.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Once Evie gets that Trinity Force completed, hopefully Trinity Force. Because we saw, was it Lep that went for the Frozen Fist?
Yes, it was.
No, do not do that. Do not do that. We will find out.
You can do it against the guys that stack entirely physical damage. It scales with armor, the slow amount or the slow radius.
Yeah, but now you've got a Dr. Mundo and an Anivia to deal with.
Yes, and I'm not saying in this game
I'm calling not worth. I'm calling not worth.
Definitely not.
Okay. Gromp was being tagged over the wall by Moeki, but unable to kill it thanks to the changes to Gromp in the preseason. And Seiya, you know what? We've not seen this guy. We've not seen Seiya see a lot. Got that rod almost fully stacked. Still marginally behind in CS. Is he literally going to be a wave clear bot?
Yeah, that's entirely what he's going to do. It's what his team required. They've got a Lucian to do that to an extent, but there is no way for LJL to push into turrets if there's an Anivia there. He's going to scale very well into the late game, and that's essentially what they're going to look for. It's not going to be CLG EU levels, but it is still a necessity to have that wave clear.
So let's find out if they can steal this red buff. The stun does connect onto Rain Brain. He's able to smite that away, so that's a resource denied from, I think it was Evie that was looking to pick that up most likely.
I mean, the beauty behind that even though was that Seros was there.
Yeah.
He's there to help take the red buff of all things and pressure out Thearch and the rest of this Latin American side. They are on point with their rotations, and we've seen that from his teleports and even that.
Well, there's a teleport coming in the middle lane. Dara's looking for White Lotus. He's got the Unbreakable Will down, and White Lotus is trying to spam the damage out. Evie has found him. The Transcendent Blades and Rage Blade will get a kill before Thearch throws the ukulele and sends him singing to his death. Seiya's going to get Egg. It's Egg Benedict is what they're looking for, and Rain Brain knocks him down. Thearch finds himself a double kill. As you can look those, Dara finds out. Seros, as well as Moeki, trying to do the damage, and the death sentence finds no one. A 2 for 2.
And no Helior to speak of in the majority of that fight. He only came in at the end just to stop the fight from happening. Evie with that teleport was the biggest feature of that entire fight because he caught White Lotus out of position, followed up immediately after that pick with another fantastic pick onto Seiya on this Anivia. You can see how pushed up they are. The teleport has been pinged minutes, seconds in advance. Rain Brain ignores Thearch's existence unfortunately hitting a wall with that. And they do have Evie come in on the backline to pick up that kill. He is so strong. Does go down. Thiak gets a double kill in this, but Seiya is just fried egg at this stage. He is going to go down very quickly.
This is a terrifying tour for the LJL. In a 5v4, to only come out even now, they did need to kill the egg as well, and you can see how low Thiak was, so maybe a more well-executed headbutt pulse could have changed the scenario, but a 2 for 2, and LJL find themselves further behind.
So even then, the teleport was very average from Evie in terms of positioning. They were already able to disengage, but he had committed to it. So they took what they could because they had the numbers advantage. And unfortunately for them, and fantastically for the Latin American side, it did go reasonably well. This Mundo feels like a polar opposite to what we have been seeing in the last game.
Yeah, defensive Mundo, his best Mundo. And when you think about it, actually, trying to engage through Anivia, through Mundo, through all of Thresh's disengage, good luck.
Imagine Soraka.
Dude. Okay, so let's theorize. No. We'll talk about Soraka when we see her. When we see her. Saros is going to throw out that laser beam, and then we'll find Thiak. Thiak got the dead man's plate, so there's going to be some additional damage coming out, even with the changes to his E. Lands that auto attack. We can see Helio working his way towards that Starix gauge as well.
That's interesting against an Aurelia that is doing so much damage with auto attacks. And I mean, sure, health is the counter to true damage, but when you're building a Trinity Force and have the Guinzus active as well, true damage isn't the entirety of that Aurelia's output.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of magic AoE from that Rage Blade. I kind of feel like 25 minutes in and not having the Trinity Force completed yet is a little late, but Envy is sitting on around 11 or 1200 gold, so gonna back now. There's no teleport available. We'll see what he picks up. Latam, they just sneak a tower, brute force it, knowing Evie had no teleport from the previous fight.
And you can see all of the vision that this Latin American side have placed on that mini-map. It is absolutely everywhere. And only after the turret is gone do they back off and the vision starts to favor them. Rainbrain.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Even flayed out of the tunnel. Just so easily done, and they immediately go to the Baron.
So all of the damage from Latam is, yeah, Nevia's going to do great. Lucian with that static shiv in essence, the Baron's down to 50% HP. The Japanese are coming into contest, and the death sentence finds no one. Dara, pulverized, doesn't hit anything, but a 3-man flash drop. Seiya's bought some time. Baron is not killed yet. Buek is hopping and skipping forward. He flashes out of the stun. Dara's pulled backwards and finds a multi-man knockup, but Latam have obliterated the Japanese, acing them, and they turn back for Baron.
Now they're going to be very low after a fight like that, but that came entirely down to Arce. The way he played that, hitting a ridiculous play on all of them. They're skirting around the edges of their health bar.
Oh!
That was close.
What a team fight from Latam. This is now their game to lose.
This engage from Dara literally pulverizes the ground and misses everything. That is the moment where this Latin American side can win the fight. Arce did hit that 3-man flash, and Seiya using the wall and the lack of vision that the LJL side had there to hit a stun onto the important members of this Japanese side. So many small determining features of these fights is what is separating Latin America from the Japanese team.
Great play from Latam. Reactive, defensive, but very smart map play. That Baron led from the vision, led from the tower, which led from realizing Evie didn't have teleport.
You know, the best part is how many scrying orbs LJL placed in the middle of the Baron being done. They literally have 4 scrying orbs and a single sweeping lens.
I've seen 5. I've seen a team do better. But it's not working out just yet. LJL down 9,000 gold. They now have to deal with Baron-empowered minions. We're going to return to the discussion of Fiora versus Irelia, because Fiora's got a Tiamat now as well. Going to be pushing top lane with Baron. I don't think Irelia can win this time.
I do think Aurelia should still make that extremely close. I'm going to give Aurelia the slight edge, but the Starix gauge should actually make it so that Helio gets out alive at least.
Okay, so let's find out. Maybe we'll get that 1v1. Teleport is available for Helio. The rest of Latam starting to siege. Great use of that crystallized wall. Maybe too early, as there was no minions to allow auto attacks onto the tower. White Lotus decides to poke. Wow, very early Unbreakable Will.
Almost arguably wasting that Unbreakable Will, as this Latin American side, they've got another Anivia wall to burn here with the next wave.
Yeah, a little bit further back. This will allow LJL to position appropriately. Keep in mind on your mini-map, Evi and Helios have their own duel going on, and both can teleport in at a moment's notice. Minion wave's about to move up. Baron is a little bit less than half, down to a quarter in fact. As Latam start to siege, Arte gets rooted by the gravity field, finds nobody with the death sentence, and just waiting for one skill shot to connect.
That is exactly what they're waiting for. The problem with that is Syros is hitting all of his skill shots and starting to poke them out. They cannot prolong that siege. Fiora is not able to win against Aurelia. It feels like she's starting to respect that fact and back up more so. So a very good attempt from this Latin American side to try and breach the base. They did get a turret and they get the dragon.
Yeah, got that mid turret as well. So Baron has been a success. It will time out shortly. This allowed Latam to extend their gold lead. They had a 4,000 gold lead before Baron and teamfights and towers. That is now extended to 12,000. That is a fantastic Baron power play over the duration of the
Definitely. They are beyond far ahead at the moment. This Mundo is not going to die at all. He is so tanky.
And interesting to see the build that Syros has opted into. You went for a Abyssal Scepter first. I don't really know how I feel about that, considering he shouldn't really be in range to get caught by Anivia. And then Lichbane second, so looking for some more burst on those autos. Yeah, he goes where he pleases. He's Mundo. There's no one surprised by that.
It's Mundo on holiday.
Well, he is in Australia. He's going to need that hat. Niak is starting to back away. Death Sentence finds Dara. He used the Unbreakable Will as well as the Fate's Call. And that's a little bit of missed timing. They somewhat stack their ultimates. Didn't need to do that.
And it's funny that one more time, Victor this time for Syros is what is helping this game, basically helping Japan stay in this game at all. He's placing down the stun. He's keeping them away from set areas and controlling zones to deny this Latin American side from breaching any closer into that base. Now, what they are waiting for is a Thresh Hook or an Anivia wall that completely removes somebody into a horrible position and then blow them up before they breach.
Let's find out if Zia can lock them out. This wall is better, but there's no one hitting the tower. Death Sentence does not find a target, nor does the Flash Frost. The ukulele does. Thunk. Saya and now move to support the minions in the bottom. It's just a siegeal front, but look at the minion wave. LJL, bottom lane, is pushing in their favor.
Exactly right, and they do have the teleport for this Fiora, but he needs to stay top lane, otherwise Aurelia is going to push that one out. And this is all just a big back and forth battle. They're poking it down though. The turrets with every single wave are getting lower and lower.
Let's see how long it will take and if Latam will overstep. Dara's got his flash available. Culling is used, and really that was more like a massaging. It didn't do a whole lot.
The tickling.
Dara does not have anybody to engage on, and there's the pings onto the bottom tower. Minions are going to do a lot of work on that objective.
Yeah, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it. Honestly, there are so many there. Let's
find out. Minion wave is there. No.
Lucian wave clear.
White Lotus. Well, but I agree with our audience.
Woo!
We're going to set ourselves up for another Baron siege. Latam, they put some wards in the top quadrant, but not a whole lot. And those oracles will be available shortly. So LJL, I mean, they have to contest the next Baron and win just to even have a chance.
Yes. They're starting to scale in items, but they are so far behind. Even looking at the AD carries right now, the difference in gold is enough to carry the entire team on his back. He has seriously got close to 5K in the lead.
The scary thing about that then is if Moeki goes, White Lotus goes down, a large chunk of your advantage is also removed. So pressure on White Lotus, but luckily he's got a Mundo and a Nivea and a Fiora to pull distractions and threats. So it's not like it's It's not like it's going to be as difficult as a single carry composition.
Yeah, the difference this game, even compared to the last, for having a Mundo in the comp is a Thresh to save the AD carry opposed to a Braum to just be that added frontline option. In this case, Lucian has an escape tool opposed to brutish tanks that are just going to stand in the front.
And of course, if it was a Soraka, she could have kept him alive.
That's right.
See, I'm learning.
Even that, not against the Vayne as well, to be fair. So the Mundo, very tanky.
Lessons with Rusty. Right, split push is the name. Teleport's available for everybody that has them. Look at Latam placing the vision. The giant purple worm is alive. And Latam say, do want. They are revealed by one Oracle. There are 2 available. One has been used, and one is just ticked on. You can see the observers toggling vision for us to keep track.
Of course, very aggressive vision from the Latin American side, all in the jungle of LJL's team. Very dangerous for them. Dara.
He's looking to engage. He's only caught Thiak, though. This is going to be bad.
What are you doing, Mueki?
Mueki's in trouble. He's on the wrong side of the team fight. Teleport's not being channeled just yet. The Flash Frost finds no one. And White Lotus, he's now pulling a Mueki. He's in front of the LJL squad. No hard CC has connected, and Seros is going to find those death rays. Evie and Helior, they did dance toe-to-toe, and Evie Flash was used as well.
Which means
so
Fiora
may have won their fight.
Exactly right, coming out ahead, and the Baron's now going to be done in response. They need to answer Helior.
Well, Evie is going to look to re-challenge. Sterix has already procced for Helior. They're trading back and forth. Evie's going to win this one. The riposte comes out. Helior stays alive. Helior wins the fight.
Helior going monstrous right there. They now need to go back and defend the inhibitor, or it's going to go to Baron.
It's secured. Smite by Thiak. Now Rainbrain's in trouble. He just gets bonked by Seiya and taken out. Inhibitor's taken out from Helior. If they can keep the distraction, LJL have lost the game. Mueki's been flayed, and he's dead for days. Double kill for White Lotus. Helior's on to the Nexus turrets. That's 1 down. The rest of the Latam team should be able to make it into the base to watch the explosion. And after 34 minutes, the Latin America team ties for first place at the International Wildcard All-Stars.
To be able to lose a 1 versus 1 against an Aurelia and bring it back and almost single-handedly win the game via forcing the Japanese side to commit to one or the other. Helior goes monstrous right there.
And you can just see how ecstatic the team are. Gigantic smiles across the board. It was a very competitive game until that first Baron, until the missed positions from the LJL squad ended up costing them.